Hello and welcome to today's video. Yes, the DEVS have done another Q&A. We've got another Q&A to go through, a lot to jam pack in there and a lot of answers. So let's see what they said and let's go through it together. Hello, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos of me, MrSneakyy. And yes, we're here, we've got the Q&A. It's come out 3 hours ago, so I was asleep when this came out, but there's a lot to go through in this. They do give you quite a lot of answers. There's some bits I have had a quick skim over, especially on one point when we get to it. But I am going to make my own video on one point in particular when we get to it, right? But I haven't read anything really in. I've just had a quick skim. So this is to do with Season 2. So you can see over the past 2 updates, there's been a lot of discussion among the community regarding Season 2 content and the Warpet system, which is true. In this development Q&A, we discuss season resets, Warpet skills, improvements to controls, and upcoming additions to gameplay. Right, so let's just dive in, right? We're going no messing about. When you begin in Season 2, there's a lot of repetitive work that has to be done regarding heroes, artifacts, and playing through Dragon Trials, and Alliance leaders officers have to spend a lot of time and effort rebuilding alliances. This is really true. This is the one thing that is just, honestly, I don't want to say it's annoying, but I think for alliances, that's the annoying part. That the heroes, artifacts, and Dragon Trials, personally, if you don't like the system of it resetting, this might not be just a game for you. That's all I'm going to say. Because the whole purpose of a season reset is to stop those players that might have played the game months and months and months, like myself, or maybe a whale or a spender, from hoarding as much as they want, so then at the start of this season they can just immediately beat you at the start of the season. That just isn't fair, right? So if you don't like the system, maybe they can change the system a little bit to make it a bit more friendlier, but I don't think the season reset change is going to go, because I think it's one of the best systems that they've put in. But for the alliances, yeah, the alliance system is the one which is a bit of a pain. So let's see what they say about it. So with each season reset, we pay attention to great feedback from the players and use it to assess the long-term impact of season resets on the game. With this in mind, we're making improvements on season resets centered around 2 aspects: the personal development of alliances and personal development. In personal development, in order to speed up early game development to make PvE and Warpet gameplay more rewarding, we are considering changing partial reset for hero levels, not resetting artifacts levels at all, and seizing the scrappage of arcane dust. We are also planning to increase the level cap of Darklings, Dark Creatures, and Darkling Forts, and corresponding rewards. So here, this is what I was afraid of, and this is what, if it goes this way, it goes this way. But it feels like it's going to turn into Rise of Kingdoms. And the thing is, Rise of Kingdoms is its own game, right? And the whole purpose of having so many different artifacts to pick from is that in a season reset, you might want to try and use a blink, like the couple of blink mechanics, you know, for the cavalry, for example. And then once you've used them for that season, guess what? Maybe next season you try Kingslayer and Solan's Blade. So each season it gives you, the player, to obviously keep testing and changing all these different things, and it's just part of the game. There's going to be, if you have this maxed out all the time, what I can see is there's going to be a massive disadvantage now, which is going to cause so much friction within the game. You're going to have free-to-play players complaining that whales are always having the advantage because their artifacts are maxed out level 60 with partial commanders already, with 6 stars. Like, how can they compete against that compared to an artifact that is when all artifacts are level 1 and you have to grind it up to the 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, and 6-star? Like, it was there to design to be fair play. So we'll soon see. We'll soon see if this gets implemented properly. I do like the fact they're increasing Darklings and stuff. Who knows what we'll get, but again, we'll see how this works, right? This is only the first point, but you can see already I'm not liking this. I really do not like this this Q&A. And this is from my straight away first point going into it. So a deep and strategic gameplay. So let's see. I might have missed a bit. In this late season, higher level Warpets will respawn more frequently, which is good. And deeper and strategic gameplay, we are designing policy systems that will change as the season progresses. So what's more, your Dragon Trial progress will no longer reset when the season begins. Instead, it will be adding new stages that allow players to pursue higher goals when a new season starts. So again, this is another thing where I just think this is only going to advantage is going to go more into the spenders. This is again more whale territory here, where all the spenders are going to gain an advantage. The whole point of everyone resetting and the whole point of the Dragon Trials resetting is to make it fair. And now the fact that my Dragon Trials isn't resetting, I can basically max this out compared to other players, and guess what? I could migrate potentially in the future to your kingdom, and guess what? I'm going to have a maxed out one and you won't. That's just how it is now, right? And this is how the game is going. And this is what I don't want to happen. This is personally what I don't want the game. This is why the things I've been saying and trying and hope, hopefully going towards for you guys is the way, I've been putting my points through. So we'll see how this works. We're going to keep going through. This is still the answer for the first answer. This is to do with upgrading heroes, artifacts, and Dragon Trials. And then the alliances. So that's, again, all to do with the season resets here. So we are currently debating the feasibility of retaining alliances from previous seasons. At the moment, we can confirm in the late season, we will allow alliance leaders to select their certain region for the new season. Once the choice has been made, alliance members will automatically follow their alliance leader to the start of the next season's map, which is amazing. We are also considering solutions to ensure regarding alliance membership numbers in the alliance season. So one thing they did do in this one, which I think does translate over, was the alliances did get 20, right? You could have 20, I think it was 20 or 40 extra members. There was like 80 alliance members at the start, or 60 alliance members, compared to the 40, right? Which was a lot better. It was so much better, and everyone praised them for this. So it's good that they've done something good, and it looks like they're maintaining on it. And I like the fact that they've said as well, if you're in the alliance, so like I'm in TM, I know my alliance leader will pick the region and we all go to that region. I don't have to now make sure I pick the right region. I don't have to worry about the mails. I don't have to worry about other stuff, right? As long as I'm in the correct alliance, the alliance leader will start us in the correct region and we'll go from there, right? Obviously, if we want to change regions or change alliances, you just do that. So I do like that. Really good change there. Really good one. We're sure you'll have plenty of questions regarding these changes, such as specific hero resets, increasing PvE, and yeah. So we are highly aware on the changes will make have irreversible impact on how players progress over 70-day season. So we're going to need a little time. So yeah, this is it. So this is why, like, I just think personally they shouldn't change it. Like the way this is gonna go, and you can tell, like, I'm kind of really shook on it, is like the way this game is going. Personally, they're getting rid of the season resets, they're getting rid of all the good aspects of the game, which actually allows free-to-play players and low spenders, and even, like, say, free-to-play players to potentially become a spender to play the game, because now it's going to benefit the whale. The whale and the biggest spenders are always going to have the biggest advantage. They're always going to keep maintaining the biggest advantage. And it wasn't like, obviously there was already an advantage between them both, but it was at least like this. You know, it was like, this is the spender, this is the Lotus, guy, right? So this is what it looks like. But now it's like this, like it's off screen. Like, the amount of benefits someone with such a long time accumulated is gonna have is just, I just find it insane personally. So we'll soon see what the next part is. We'll see in the future what they're gonna do, but there's a lot more to go. There's the big one down here. I can already see the Warpet one, and that is the one I'm gonna make my own video on that one, just to give you guys a little tip. So if you've made it through so far on the first point, and I know it was a long one, it was a lot of ranting as well as basically discussing about the points, or my personal opinion on it, you can see, like, it was a long one, and even for them, they've wrote a long amount on it. So we'll go into it more in another video, maybe see what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe put a timestamp, you know, at the current time, and just say this is what I think about this, and then you can then do again later on at another timestamp. This is what we think, and just make a nice comment with all your timestamps with all the different questions. And guess what? The devs can look at the video, look at the comments, and have a good understanding on what the players actually believe in, right? So, will it be possible to see the start times for different phases of the late season, such as season summary, migration, matchmaking, and the beginning of new season? So in version 1.20, we have added a timeline for the late season, giving players greater clarity when making future plans, which is good. So they've listened to players and they've added it in. This is a really good change. A nice quality of life change that allows players just to get more clarity, as they say. They can understand when the end of season is coming. They can see the season calendar basically, and they know, okay, I only got this amount of weeks to get my, you know, my ass into gear, right? So really good little point there. Will cross-season server migration be introduced? This is interesting. Considering the differences in strength between players in seasons 1, 2, and 3, we are not currently planning to add the ability to migrate between servers that are in different seasons, but we are considering a cross-season migration after season 3 ends. But this plan is early stage, and we are coming, and obviously feedback is regarding this issue. So again, this is something I called. I don't know if you guys have been watching the channel. I don't know if you've been following this channel a lot, but I called everything so far in this next point. This is something I've called from the beginning. So we're in season 1, you go into season 2. If there's going to be any changes to season 2, you're going to be in season 2 plus until those changes are put into the game. And then obviously you'll know when those changes are implemented and they're happy, that'll be the complete season 2, right? So then you'll go into season 3, and the third season is going to be something new. Hopefully you can see a new map, maybe new faction, who knows, new behemoths, new everything, right? It's a new season. But at the end of season 3, which it looks like is going to happen, you will then go into either season 4 or a special season similar to Rise of Kingdoms, which is the season of conquest, right? And the season of conquest is like a way where there's different types of matchmaking, different types of game modes that your server or your alliance may be able to go into and basically matchmake against the other alliances, right? So maybe during that phase, that's when you're going to be able to migrate. So maybe for myself, I could then in the future migrate into someone like server 32 if they're in season of conquest. Or again, I could migrate into someone like season maybe 100 because they're in season of conquest. So we'll see how this comes. This is a nice little addition or clarity that they've added in. But again, this is something we've been talking about so much during the live streams, and we've been assuming this from the very start, because again, this is the guys that Lilith have made a Rise of Kingdoms, so they've got a nice foundation to work from. So it'd be basically silly of anyone not to, you know, think they're gonna follow a basic formula, while Firelight Studios here are gonna have their own take. They're gonna make their own game and do their own path on what they think is the correct way to make a really good mobile city building game, right? So it's interesting to see. So now we've got onto this point, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do a quick brief summary on it, and I know you guys are gonna put your comments below, but I am gonna make a video straight after this one on this point, which is, will we be able to choose which skill slots we want to add Warpet skills? And this is their answer: we are not planning to make changes on how Warpet skills are learned. Currently, each time the Warpets skills are randomly placed, and they're going to be updating the skill page to clearly show this in 1.020 in November. So November is when this new patch is going to come out, right? So next month, which is very important to know that they put that in here. But I'm going to tell you already, I know, and I'm going to talk about this in a separate video, but as a briefing, I am not happy with this point. I know you guys, free to play, low spender, a whale, even the Krakens out there are probably not happy with this point, because I have had so many messages from players saying, I am a spender. I refuse to spend any more money on ancient coins until war pets are fixed. And the fix is to either allow me to capture way more pets or to allow skills to be learned correctly and not in a random mode. So that's what I'm going to leave out there. You can tell it's hot and heated in here already on the Warpet side, but I'm going to make a whole video on this where hopefully you guys will agree with me and hopefully post your comments, right? But again, in the video right now, put a timestamp, maybe put your thoughts on the Warpet, on what you think about it, and guess what? We'll talk about it and we'll be able to include it hopefully in the video. But let's continue. Let's not make that topic too long, because that is going to be a long video when I make that. Will you make it possible to claim alliance gifts in a one-tap click? This is just a quality of life feature. I like how they addressed it, because I even said, I just think this is kind of laziness on more of the free-to-play players. I think this is a free-to-play player asking about this. And the thing is, you've got to remember, whenever an alliance gift appears there, the gold chests, the silver chests, the bronze, even the woods, someone has spent money in the game to either develop the game and obviously to make their counter better, but they've spent money in the game, right? So just being able to mass click it is kind of, I would say, a slap in their face. It's kind of like downright disrespectful to those players that are actually giving you the golden chests, right? It's kind of a disrespect. So the way I like they've actually addressed this, which is really cool, is the fact that they've opened 10. So you can open 10 in a row. Maybe in this open 10, you'll see all the rewards, and then maybe at the bottom, it might show you all the players still who got you those chests. That would be a really cool way to do this. I'm just going to say where you can open 10 chests open. You can see MrSneakyy, you know, Boss Nasty, Trizgle Gaming, all the YouTubers, whether, you know, have donated, this is what you got given, right? Really good way of doing it, right? So it is a way of meeting in the middle ground, right? Where I think you have to be respectful and nice, and obviously I just think it's just, like I say, downright disrespectful, just kind of mass clicking and not saying thank you to, you know, the guys that are helping you actually grow your account. I'm just saying, guys. So we'll go into the next point though. After that, I do like the point, as you can imagine. I'm just, as you see, I just find it a bit on the fence on the reasoning, but I do like the middle ground on it, as you can tell. But the next one is, will you make it possible to log in with multiple characters on the PC version, which actually affects me, which is really cool. They are going to add it in, which is really cool. So we are planning to introduce a dual login feature, allowing players to log in with 2 characters at the same time. At the same time, we want to ensure the feature does not used for malicious purposes, which is really good. If we detect that a player is taking part in actions such as rallies, gathering, and resource assistance that affect the game balance, we will suspend access to the characters and devices. So this is going to be a very important one, and I think this is going to be a very scary one to see how this is done. I hope this actual issue is done in-house, meaning there's no robot. Maybe the robot flags it up and then it goes to someone that makes an evaluation, right? Because I like this. I like the fact that they can look at someone and go, right, MrSneakyy, this is his main account and there's his farm account, and I'm playing on 2 accounts, but all I'm doing is sending resource from that account to my main account. That's all I'm doing. And if they can see that there's no malicious intent, that's good, right? But if you're purposely, you know, maybe like, I don't know, some people might consider it like what people do with whales, where maybe a whale makes 1 super account and makes a 2nd super account and a 3rd and 4th and 5th super account, and basically uses 5 accounts to basically run an entire kingdom, right? That's something that is malicious, because obviously they're doing what they want and dictating the balance of the game. So it'd be very interesting to see how this works. I do like it. Really good change, a really good addition in the game. So really cool. Will you add the union chat? They will be adding the union chat. We knew about this, that I think they hinted about it in the last patch, when they were talking about it in the Q&A, which is really cool. But it's coming in November. Really nice thing to add. So now we're coming into the last little bits, and these are the really good bits that actually rounds it up. This is where I would say the saving grace of the Q&A is, and I'm going to say it straight out, it is the saving grace of it. Because new gameplay and events are coming in the new area. So patch 1.020 update will introduce Behemoth raids. And you're like, huh? But this is Behemoth raids. It's a brand new event that actually added in instead of the natural raids in the area. So you can see all players will be able to take part in matchmaking and launch a raid against the current season's Behemoths in a raid instance. Unlike Behemoths on the world map, Behemoths raids will be easier to take part in, and the players will be only able to deploy one legion to the raid. So it just obviously just showcases it. So hopefully this might be, I'm just going to say it, this might be a really cool thing, because maybe it's like the raid again, right? But maybe myself and maybe someone from server 32, someone from server 10, someone from server 33, all of those guys could be matchmaking against maybe the elite Hydra. And it matchmakes us, and it creates a roster of, you know, the 40 players. Maybe it says there's 35 DPS, 5 tanks, and then go, you know, and it creates the game. And then you guys basically have a really cool event where you can practice killing these behemoths. Maybe there's some cool rewards for you guys for doing that. Just saying, really cool addition, I think, in the game, because the problem with behemoths is a lot of players love behemoths, but I don't think there's enough ways for players to actually like practice or train or try behemoths before going into the world map and killing the behemoth raid in their main season, because you need that little bit of, you know, strategy, and you need to understand what the behemoth is doing. Especially if you want that elite raid frame, right? If you want that elite raid frame like myself that has all of them, you definitely need to make sure you understand what to do in the behemoth. So I like this. Really cool addition. I hope it's a really cool feature in the game. So version 1.020 will also introduce a new map event, the treasure map event. Unlike existing gameplay where you first gather those 7 treasure map fragments to grant the treasure, this event will grant fragments for completing the quest, in which pieces will be put together and you must go to that location. So I'm guessing it's going to be, you know how you can imagine the treasure fragments, you got the 7 maps and then you find the X and you went boom on the scout, done. It's going to be basically similar to that. That's how they're trying to, I think, explain here, mentioning the old system. But instead, it's going to give you some location where I'm guessing you must actually send units there, and maybe there's a special gameplay event for you and it might give you a bunch of stuff. So maybe, you know, what about if you go to an area and it's X marks the spot and you send 3 marchers there, and you know what? It spawns a goblin mine and there's loads of gold raining out and you have to just keep running around or killing the goblins to get the gold, and by completing that event you've got your treasure for that area, right? So maybe something cool like that could be added into the game. I'm just saying, you know, devs, if you're watching the video, hit me up. I'm here, MrSneakyy, you know, I'm trying my best to work with you guys and with the community to make an amazing game for everyone to play with. But then we've got the final one. And this is the one again, like I say, adding the saving grace with the 2 new potential event game modes coming. We will be adding a new faction. Yes. We are in early stages of designing new factions. Plural. It's plural, guys. And this is what I did suggest in a video which will be coming out soon. I have recorded this video a few days. It's just waiting to come out because obviously there's a lot of content coming out, right? But in that video, I do mention about hopefully what I would do to improve the game is make it so there's at least 5 starting factions. It sounds crazy, I know, but I said I think there should be 5 starting factions. Why? Because right now, and I will just give you a glimpse into it, if we look at Generational 1, heroes only, every hero or say like unit type is in a really good spot apart from 2 basically. Mages is the obvious one. Mages have only 1 legendary hero, and then obviously they've got enough epic heroes so they don't have to worry about that, so they're good, right? But The only other one is through VIP. This is why we exclude them, because it's a VIP hero. It's behind the paywall, right? So mage players only have Valen to play with. So a new faction could introduce a new starting legendary hero, which could be a mage, and that will fill that spot. And that would mean every match, including infantry, and then the mages, the cavalry, and the archers, should have at least 2 starting heroes in Season 1. And then, obviously, Season 2, Season 3, and all the next seasons introduced. As you can see, they bring pairs out. So there's 2 new archer heroes, 2 new cavalry heroes, 2 new maybe infantry heroes, 2 new mage heroes, right? So there's a nice way of doing it. But the 5th faction I think they should add should be another overall hero. Yeah, they should add another overall hero to the game. So Fear is not the only one carrying all the weight right now. She's doing all the hard work. But I think by doing that and adding 2 new factions, adding a couple of new heroes for everyone to play with at the start is a really good touch for you guys, right? And I think it's going to allow everyone to have a better experience. And I think this is what they're doing. So we're in the early stages of designing new factions. This design process included content such as new starting heroes, combat units, and faction bonuses, as well as ensuring the new content is compatible with existing factions. For this reason, it might be a while before any new factions are introduced. We are welcome to suggestions on possibilities of new factions. And guess what? Don't worry. I am making a video on this too, because as you guys know, we've been making the lore of the game. And the really cool thing about the lore of the game is, you know, when you go more deeper down into the roots, there's a lot of races in the game. And each of these races have their own aspects, right? So I'd love to see what they do. And as well, obviously, in the future, there could be more added races and factions added in. So it's really cool to see. And I've got, obviously, a video coming out on that. But that is going to be the Q&A. Q&A 4 covered. I know I haven't covered, like I said, the Warpets. We are going to make a full video on this, which is going to be straight after this recording. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on Q&A 4. I know it's been a very long video. I do apologize for it, but there's a lot to talk about, a lot to basically, unpack in here. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And I know the community devs do look at the comments and read them and hear your guys, thoughts. So if you guys really dislike some of the changes, put it in the comments and they'll hopefully take this on board. So thank you for watching. Obviously, thank you for the support, guys. My name is MrSneakyy, an official Call of Dragons content creator, here giving you another video every single day, trying to educate you and give you the download on the updates coming out. And with all of that, smash the like, smash the sub button if you thought today's video was good. And obviously, like I said, comment below your thoughts. And until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. Peace out.